Welcome to this week's Foundation Friday. I am joined today by Nancy Robles, Chief Operating Officer of Eastern Funding, to discuss the Berkeley College Foundation. Thanks for joining me, Nancy.
Hi, thank you. I love being here. Thank you so much for inviting me and giving me the opportunity to talk about the Berkeley College Foundation, which is very dear to my heart.
Absolutely. As a former alumni, I know it's exciting, for you to discuss this foundation. So I guess we'll just kind of dive right into it, Nancy. What's the foundation about?
So Berkeley College is a local college here in New York and New Jersey. They have, I believe, 6 campuses. And so the foundation supports the college in terms of scholarships and other areas where they fund to assist students. A lot of their students are from minority backgrounds. And so, some help, financial help is always warranted. And so that's what the foundation is all about, is scholarships and other areas where they fund. And I will gladly share those with you to answer those questions.
Perfect. And so where in New York and New Jersey? So, I used to live in Hackensack. What's the closest campus to that?
Well, the campus I attended is here I live in Totowa. It's in Woodland Park, New Jersey. Okay. They have New York. They have one in Manhattan, White Plains. So they have quite a few. And some of them, like the one in New York, is pretty large. It has pretty large campus. And the one in Manhattan is right in Midtown, close to the Eastern Funding offices in I think on 6th and 42nd.
Is there ever like a rivalry between the campuses?
I'm sure. When I was in school, we thought we were the best, the Woodland Park campus. So there's always something. But yeah, the students are really are very very involved. I mean, when I was there, I got my paralegal degree there, and then later a bachelor's degree. And we were very territorial in terms of, I was president of the paralegal club. I was on the GSA. So we're very involved. And of course, every campus thinks that they have a better program.
That's fair. I mean, you have to have that rivalry, right? I mean, out here in Arizona, it's like you have ASU Tempe, then ASU Glendale. And yeah, I get it. So from I guess, what type of degrees does Berkeley College have?
Well, it's interesting because Berkeley College started as a secretarial school for women. Yes, back in the day. And so now they actually offer a lot of different, they even have an MBA program now, but they have a lot of business degrees. So my degree was in business management, but they also have degrees in health. They have, like I said, paralegal degrees, criminal studies. So they have an array of different areas that they cover. The MBA programs are is the newer one. I'm on there. I sit on a few of the committees of the school committees. So okay. I sit on the MBA board, alumni. I mean, I'm involved in a bunch of different areas. But the foundation is really where I invest most of my time as a board member, because they give the students that are in need that additional assistance. I know I needed it when I was in school, and they didn't have the foundation back then, but I remember receiving a lot of grants. And so I know that it can be life-changing for some students.
Oh, and that's amazing. And, based on your career path and where you're at today and leading an organization, I can imagine that's a pretty, inspiring story too, to be able to, communicate with the students.
Yeah. And I have about 6 or 7 Berkeley alum that work at Eastern Funding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So a recruiting tool as well, right? I mean,
well, we partner with them on their internship programs, because all their graduates are required to do internships. So that's a great experience for them. I always think that schools should always offer that or make that part of the requirement. Real life experience is critical. But also, so what we do is we partner with them, and then a lot of times we've had someone do an internship, and then we've offered them a job at the end of the internship, or sometimes they've moved on. But we've had a great experience in that we've had a lot of successful candidates come through our doors, and it's a very diverse school. So, it adds to Eastern Funding's diversity, which is, for us is part of our culture. So yeah, it's a great program.
Absolutely. And how long have you been on the board?
3 years, I want to
3
say.
years. Okay. Because that was going to be my next question, but you already answered that in regards to how'd you get involved in the foundation. Alumni, I'm on the board, I'm on committee, so I get that.
Yeah, well, Berkeley, Berkeley's been really good to me. I mean, aside from the 2 degrees, I was also alumni of the year in 2016.
Oh, congratulations. I did not know that.
Yeah. And I've, like I said, I've done guest lectures. I've been involved in different areas of the school. I mean, the foundation and the school are 2 separate entities. Obviously, it's a non-for-profit, but the foundation does, I mean, in addition to scholarships, they set up 2 pantries, one in Manhattan campus and one in the New York campus. And they're essentially food pantries because, as you know, there's very high food insecurity among college students. There was a study done a few years ago that found that most college students have food insecurity. And so the pantry it's just a place where students can go get, some quick food in between classes.
Ramen, rice-a-roni. I'm trying to think of what I went through when I went to college. It was like whatever you can get your hands on.
Exactly. Yes. And what Berkeley does, I mean, they've awarded over 35 scholarships. Over 35 students have received scholarships, and it's over $100,000 in scholarships. And and what they do is because they have such a high rate of adult students, returning students, a lot of them are parents, the scholarships are divided equally among high school students as well as adult students because they have such a high population.
Interesting.
So it's very interesting. We put a lot of time and effort every year in picking out who the recipients of the scholarships are going to be. And we need is definitely, I mean, there's academic requirements, obviously. We want people who are going to be successful at the school, but also need is one of the big requirements. And, we've had a lot of success in terms of giving out scholarships to continuing students, and the students have done very well locally.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is when people are watching this and they make a donation to the Berkeley College Foundation, where do those donated dollars go? Yeah,
well, we have the scholarships. We have the food pantry, right, that we have in both offices. And, during COVID, the pantry was particularly needed because of obviously the obvious needs of a lot of students. In addition to that, we did a lot of students, we did a survey and we found that a good number of students did not attend class because they had no transportation in New York City. So we were subsidizing Metro cards for students.
Interesting.
And it had such an impact on attendance. Yes, and it's just so interesting how the things that we can easily take for granted, it can be very impactful in someone's life. So we've continued to do that, and so we have our board is 95% volunteers. I think we have one employee, and so the donation dollars really go to the students. I mean, there's no overhead, there's no anything, and so most of our money's raised. We have a golf outing every year.
Oh,
that is a lot of money. Eastern Funding is obviously one of their sponsors.
Sure.
And I usually go and I play golf, although I'm not a golfer. So one time a year I play golf. Yeah.
I might have to come to this. I mean, besides doing good, but
just to get a few laughs.
No, I mean, I laugh at myself golfing, so it's not like I'm that great, but I just enjoy it. It's fun.
No, it is. Actually, I do enjoy it, and usually we take a few the lungs to spend the day together and just, bond over our Berkeley stories and raise money for the school for scholarships for the students. And we do have other events, but that's our primary event.
That's your primary one. So I don't know, do you have any other equipment finance organizations? Because the final question I have is, when people watch this, what can people in equipment finance do to help support the Berkeley College Foundation?
Well, I mean, aside from donating, to me, what we can do in general within the industry is really, one of the things that I find challenging is the lack of diversity in the industry, and the lack of candidates. People often identify that as one of the challenges they have in creating a more diverse workplace.
Yeah.
And for local employers in this area in equipment finance, I mean, this has been a partnership. Having a partnership with Berkeley has been very helpful in having more candidates, more diversity in the candidate pool. And I think that, with Berkeley, just like any other colleges, but Berkeley is 60, I believe they have a very high diversity number. I want to say 63%, but I feel like I'm mixing it up with Eastern funding diversity number. It's up there. And so, but those are the kind of things that we need to do within the industry as leaders, is look for alternative ways of finding candidates. And schools like Berkeley, it's not the only school, but certainly a school like Berkeley is a great place to start, where we can offer internships, and that gives us an insight into the potential candidate. And it creates opportunity to expand our pool. So, I would always say that people should look to make those kinds of efforts, and donating to a scholarship fund where, the student who's really in need and can change careers. I mean, Berkeley has been voted one of the schools that has the highest, I don't want to misquote it, but the
placement?
No, it's like the economic growth for the student.
Oh, okay. Oh, got it.
That's one of the highest in the country.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Because of the student, the student body that they service, and where the students end up after they have their degree in terms, financially. And so that is critical, not just for the student, but the economy, the country, everyone.
Absolutely. So, the local area there in New York, New Jersey. Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we all, the more opportunity we create in areas like that, the more we thrive as a community in general.
I agree. I agree 100%. And I appreciate you for sharing your story today, Nancy, so we can learn more about the Berkeley College Foundation. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.